Chances are, if you've shown any interest in learning a fighting game, especially one of the anime variety, you've researched online for something like combos for your chosen character. I know I did back in the day when I was learning Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on the PS3. What I didn't expect was to be greeted with random numbers in place of move names. Why is this called 5A? Do I have to press A 5 times? That just gives me an auto combo. What's going on here? This is called numpad notation. The idea of it is to transfer the directions of the D-pad on a controller into a digestible language that can be used across multiple games, using a keyboard's numpad as a basis. The easiest way of learning numpad notation is through this image, where all the info required is laid out in a very easy to follow way. The idea of this video is going to be to take this image and apply real game examples to it. For the complete basic directions, 5 on the numpad is neutral. This is when you're not touching the D-pad at all. 2 is when you're crouching or holding down. 6 is when you're going forwards. 4 is when you're going backwards. And 8 is to jump directly upwards. To do something like crouch block, you'd hold 1. To jump forwards, you'd press 9. To jump backwards, you'd press 7. For a quarter circle forward, commonly called a fireball motion because of moves like the Hadouken from Street Fighter, when we apply numpad notation, this becomes 2, 3, 6, because you go from 2 to 3 to 6 on the numpad. Numpad notation will always assume you're facing the right, so even if you're on player 2's side, doing a standard Kamehameha with Goku will always be considered a 2, 3, 6 motion. A quarter circle backwards motion in numpad notation is called a 2, 1, 4, because you're going from 2 to 1 to 4 in the opposite direction. For a dragon punch or DP motion, you go from 6 to 2 to 3. So this becomes a 6, 2, 3 motion. So a reverse dragon punch would be 4, 2, 1 because it goes in the opposite direction from 4 to 2 to 1. For half circles, you generally have to go from 4 to 6 or 6 to 4 along the D-pad. So both of these would become 4, 1, 2, 3, 6 and 6, 3, 2, 1, 4 for half circle forwards and backwards respectively. At least until Gold Lewis was released in Guilty Gear Strive. And now we have every single directional half circle we could possibly want without going diagonal. But I'm getting distracted. For supers in Guilty Gear that use a half circle like Leo or Soul, the notation becomes 6, 3, 2, 1, 4, 6 because you do a half circle and then press forward, which is 6 on the numpad. For charge moves, there's two ways notation can be written. For characters like Guile in Street Fighter and Leo in Guilty Gear, who have fireballs that need to be charged backwards, the notation can be written as 4, 6 or brackets 4, 6. There's no real difference between these, it's just the brackets on the 4 in the second example indicate that the 4 has to be charged, which can be helpful for people unfamiliar with the character. This works for their flash kicks as well, where it's written as brackets 2, 8. And that's the basics for numpad notation. Hopefully this helped in some way, and now you can understand a little bit more as you try to navigate Dustloop.